Riot Games Arena, welcome to the stage, 2-game esports and 100 Thieves. Crowd coming out to support 100 Thieves here, but 2G has an opportunity to do something big and get this win, fellas. That would be monumental for this team, given how the season has started off for them.
Listen, it's a big deal to take a map off of Crew. They are, right now, the dominant force in that group, but the rest of the series for 2G was not convincing. I want to see that performance over more than a single map in a best of 3. And this is where it has to happen. Playoffs on the line. They've got to be winning this game. 100 Thieves as well. They can numerically put themselves in that situation. But both teams need to bring their best. And I know it's early on in the stage, but it'll be too late soon enough for that playoff qualification.
And on the opposite side for 100 Thieves, I think all year so far, it's been ups and downs, it's been question marks. At no point, I don't think anyone has felt convinced of them being a lock-in top team. But this would be a great step in the right direction, getting their spot in playoffs certified. Right now, we've seen that they have the capability to go on a hot streak and tear apart the entire scene. They did it in Stage 1 last year. This can get them one step closer to another playoff run if they get this win today against 2G, who they certainly feel like they are the favorite against.
Well, I was going to say, that's a big one for them, right? They're coming into this with a 2G that is finding a little bit of a reinvigoration, toward the middle part of the season here. But at the same time, if you're a 100 Thieves fan, you got to feel pretty confident about the team coming into this one. You got the talent. You have the capabilities of each and every one of those players, undoubtedly. But here's your breakdown. We got Ascent, Icebox, and then Split if necessary. So 2G is going to go straight to Ascent, kind of looking to rekindle that again.
And fair enough. We have not seen this map from 100 Thieves yet this year. And again, those jet maps quite often provoke a change in their lineup. We often see Ascent in the past on the KO.
Yeah.
That's where Cryo steps up. Honestly, we've got a number of maps where Cryo could just play jet. We've got Ascent into Icebox here, and if that's someone we're looking at to really push this team forward, then great. I want to see Xander really assert himself in this structure, especially in that second map, but even over here. I want to see him lock down those sites on the defense side. I want to see him be the impact player that he was promised to be when they brought him into this team. He's got big shoes to fill. Don't forget who he replaced on this 100 Thieves roster.
I was super impressed by 2G on their Ascent defense in particular. They were choosing excellent timings for proactivity. I think LZ's calling was really fantastic in that regard. Always understanding when him and another player could double up, take space on an extremity, cut off a split push by gaining control of A main or B main. Had a really good read on the tempo of the map. And it does feel that Ascent has to be a must-win for 2G in this series.
Now, well, here come your agents, and we are going to see that, the Tejo get locked into the Vice as well, going to be into play. And let's not forget the KO always being an impact player on Ascent.
There's some really nasty Vice walls you can actually put up on the B side, close to B main, that trap people if they want to send the jet in and the rest of the team wants to flood behind them. You can get caught out. Here, 100 Thieves, so something a little bit more classic. I like that Yoru inclusion here. So they are not going for Jet for Cryo, but he's still in a position to make impact. Look at the middle of the map. It's about getting that mid control on the attack side and flooding through market, having you split on towards that B side.
Yeah, who better to do that than a guy who could just go into another dimension and pop up on the other side, give him a little bit of info, It's going to be fascinating whether or not we see 100 Thieves hold this one down, or if we see 2G manage to pick up a massive, massive win here. I believe we're going to be waiting just for a little bit longer, and then we're going to get ready to send it over to the casters. But once we do, fellas, I think that 2G have such an opening, such an opportunity here. They can do it.
There's no KO here for 100 Thieves in their composition, right? It's going to be Sova Tejo, which is interesting, right? Quite often we see that 0 point thrown off route to get a bit of early information, and then not a lot of teams, not every team is still trying to use KJ on this particular map. But she's got some slight buffs lately that have made it more viable, especially with that lockdown.
We're seeing some good ideas across the board from both teams, but let's go ahead and get the show on the road, shall we? And send it over to your casters for this one. They actually just rode in on penny farthings, and boy, are their legs tired. It's Brennan Sideshow.
I don't know who Penny is, but I feel sorry for him. I feel sorry for him. They had to carry us on their back.
Yeah.
Listen, this week in general, of course, welcome to the show as well, and welcome to the cast here for 2G versus 100 Thieves. Now, you could go through every single match in Americas this week, honestly, and if you were to put like a favorite on it, you could probably quite easily decide who the favorite should be in these matches. They should be potentially one-sided, but it's always these weeks that you got to watch out for, because the listen, the results are never what we expect. They're never what we expect.
There's always at least an upset that creeps in here or there, and this absolutely could be it. 100 Thieves, they're always perma-banning Lotus, and 2G, they have an opportunity now to head into Ascent, which they beat Crew on.
And it's time for the Samson match start. Load up fast for the Samson SSDs. And you're exactly right, Josh. Taking a look at our pistol round here for Ascent. It's a map that 2G look best at.
And I do want to point out that this is the first time Ascent has played Teo, as far as I'm aware. So this is really quite different, going for the mid pistol that we've seen a lot of teams go for. A bit of a delayed timing. 15 seconds in, looking for that fight in mid, hoping to have baited some of the 2G players closer. But instead, they're trying to find that timing past Asena's drone in B main.
And slow and steady. Flash off onto the corner. A connection to Asena, just baiting a little bit, jiggling, gets the info. Deep knife against it though. It's going to be tagging and suppressing her up. Flashes through into the smokes. They're getting bodies now into the fray and into the fight here. Up through stairs, going to be certain and trying to clear up this guy. Asena eventually. A little bit messy in the end. Still going 1-for-1 as Askia was taken out. In the midst of all of this one. Now 4 players locked up onto the side here for 2G. Yes, you got the plant down. No control of B main though.
They still have Paranoia, they still have Salvos. There are plenty of tools here for 2G's post plan.
It's all about how they choose to use them. 100 Thieves gearing themselves up. Having to clear most of the way here. They're worried about B main to a degree, but starting to take a few pot shots now, clearing its way through. Firing forward to the Paranoia. It's a turret propped up, trying to take that point. LZ, just 10 HP, and no one watching for him. Slightest of angles to play off, and walking off one another. 2G take our opener.
Gabera not even having to use the salvos in the end there. 2G just play off each other. Very aware of where 100 Thieves were going to be swinging through. You saw LZ pre-aiming it. Knew where both of those 100 Thieves players were going to be on the repush. I think 100 Thieves composition, the desk were talking about it a little bit, it lacks the KO, so you're lacking stopping power against fast A execs, or really fast execs anywhere on the map, but the KO would usually be playing A. And so a lot of the stress is going to come onto people like Asena to be using the stun, use the salvos at the right times to shut down these attacking timings, because you cannot allow an attack side team to get snowballing on this map. It's such a defense-sided map if you play it properly. And so even just winning the pistol here is a massive beginning to 2G. And they did win both of the pistols against Crew to win a very decisive map in that series.
Diligent showcase. It's a very jutting smoke, so Boostio's got a bit of coverage here, and he's taking a peek and a gander. It's instantly traded off here, but there's potentially danger circling around these 2G players, and the salvo's just barely missing here. Cautiously just trying to step themselves into the site. Finally a bit of clearance down into hell, and out through heaven. That's 100 Thieves trying to flood their way through. And the attempt to follow up onto the damage there, but navigated well, 3 players surviving.
Not the heaviest buy in the world, and a little bit of damage done, but still plenty to go in here with a nice bonus round. Now, one of the things that 2G was doing really well, I think, on their attack side against Crew, when we previously saw them on Ascent, was being really decisive in these kind of first 40 seconds of a round where you find a timing and you send it. A lot of that was focused on mid, but that just happened to be because of the compositions being played. Here, you see them all grouped up towards B main, maybe identifying that this is a potential weakness.
Now close, that's a catch onto Boostio. Setup's going down. Does it cause a speed up from 2G though? Doesn't look likely. Just walking. Not wanting to give too much away, forcing out the drone on top of it, but that's a flash and the salvo's up towards the corner. Deep dash as well. In through the smoke, that's Boostio. Suppressive fire, layering it all the way down with a rifle in hand. He's tearing them to pieces. 2G cut off at the choke there, just from the salvos. Lay it down of Asena. It's all just support that's being brought in here for Boostio to take over. At this point, 2G. Too many more chances. Good cleanup and good trade on top of it. Gobera would have to go huge, I think, to try and even stand any sort of chance here. 100 Thieves got the discipline.
They're holding Paranoia for him, too.
Yeah.
I mean, he's got no hope.
It's a high-low, and Yuto's going to be used as soon as he just peeks wide into the corner. Head clean off, so...
Taking a look at the defensive setup there, Boostio almost getting caught. Once he got hit by that KO knife at the beginning, I was worried that 2G were going to immediately accelerate. They actually picked a really awkward timing, started going forwards just as Boostio's util was coming back up. But it's the defensive util from the 2 initiators that you pointed out. Recon Dart gets Boostio his first kill, and then salvos in the choke point completely isolate Askia and LZ. So they've got to be worried about that stuff. And you see, if 2G go for a fast timing, you're running into those kind of tools, the recon, the salvo, that kind of thing. But also, Cryo's cross-map teleports are supposed to also be a guarantee against fast hit timings, because he can be on B or A within the first 30 seconds. Normally, teams are going to want to play a little bit slower against Yoru compositions. As you see here, about 30 seconds into the round, second gate crash having to be used, and Cryo swaps over his positioning to be playing up here where they've seen most of the commotion in A main.
2G trying to spin a tail at the moment. I know they don't really have bodies in a position to really commit into a site. Very slow, exiting that minute mark now into round 4.
This gate crash is about to go down as well, and that will leave these B players a little more stranded without help.
That's exactly where the spike's going to be eventually landing. B main control, theirs. It's primed and ready, and 100 Thieves missing the mid-round info. Patient play by 2G might have just set them up quite nicely here. Still got to deal with the setup though. Dash forwards, turret actually going to be broken. A bit of stray spam there. EU's just dropped down to 10 HP. And oh, the Thorns! Slightest bit of chip damage. And Boostio rooted out of his spot.
This time, the two defenders fall on site. Despite the recon, you're right, the spam was just super good. And everybody from 100 Thieves who takes a peek in is getting destroyed.
And they're just dribbling their way into the side here. Silence fully on cleanup duty. Flawless round from 2G.
And what a change of pace.
Play, yeah.
We've been given a lot of props to LZ. He's 1-1 at the moment, hasn't quite yet had his chance to come online, but he has, ever since picking up the RGL role, he has really been putting out good individual performances too. But I think the way that they're playing right now is they're not doing anything too crazy, running a bit of a default at the beginning, cutting some noise. They didn't even break the alarm bot in mid, but 100 Thieves had already fallen back into really defensive setups, and as soon as those gate crashes were gone, Boostio and EU little out on an island in B.
That's going to be familiar scenes, I think, from 2G. Still the option to go fast. They have the ults to do it.
This drone is getting used on a very early timing. Basically every round from Asuna. He's going to have to slow that down a little more, I think, because the crucial information is not coming through until, I don't know, 45 seconds on the clock.
EU doesn't even have drone this round, but okay, a bit of a re-clear now with the salvos. Too slow off the mark, and LZ still holding up top. Nice and pretty. Flash peek.
And you see Cryo just ping-ponging from one side to the other, trying to figure out where he should be landing. This round, it's only the turret watching information across in mid.
I mean, they have no info, do they? As you said, it's just a turret.
Yeah, so they've got some idea that a B-split is not happening right now, but as soon as this gate crash goes down, they're going to be left out in the open and so open to a null command exec.
It's the slow play. Setting up now for the B split, and yeah, gate crash has faded. Boosty, it's a good time to use the ult. That's going to put this slow down to a crawl here. And what's the option now for 2G? You don't have A main control. You're seeking to pivot into a different direction. You're just
faking it.
Firing off some util, like you're trying to fake that the A presence is coming through, but now it's go time. Sending it flying forward. Still 2 players to anger. This is EU. Back against the wall, stunned up inside the smoke, and time is ticking. It's really the only win con they've got to work with, but a dash forward to the flash, peeking, facing still. Turrets, at least the Nanoswarm's doing a bit of damage here. 100 Thieves attempting to flood back in. This is all 2G. In a 1v3 for Xander, almost ISOing the first fight, and there's damage done. Winnable scenario. You'll need a few freebies. Paranoia gliding forwards, sidestep just in time. No player giving up openings here, dropping to just 26 health. Running short on time, running short on options, and Xander's realized it.
This is a disaster for 100 Thieves. Silence is doing an amazing job at keeping people out when they try to flood defend back in. But even in a round like this where they've ripped the lockdown, and they've got a decent idea when the turret goes down what's going on, they just couldn't get bodies into position quickly enough. There's no help for the players on site. EU wasn't even feeling comfortable to use his recon as the players came in. I mean, this is a dysfunctional defense at the moment for 100 Thieves. They need to make some adjustments.
It's a wider problem, I think, as well for 100 Thieves in terms of the tempo they want to play at. They're running 2 characters here, Josh, with drones. You have the Stealth drone, you have the Sova drone. You can get mid-round information quite easily with this comp that 100 Thieves are running, but they use most of it at the beginning of the round.
Yeah, they are using it quite early. I think they were probably expecting a bit of a faster tempo from 2G. And 100 Thieves, if you asked Zix and the rest of the squad, what speed would you like to play at? They'd be like, oh, I'd love to fight in the first 20
As
seconds.
the barriers go down.
Yeah, every round.
Have you heard of Paper X?
Yeah.
They're doing really well these days.
100 Thieves love taking these kind of brawls, and dragging the pace super slow like this puts them in very uncomfortable situations. And this is already, as I mentioned, a disaster beginning on Ascent. Ascent can be a map where you completely close out an opponent.
Yeah.
I mean, we saw it epitomized with Cloud9 playing against Leviathan, where they completely shut them out. But depending on your composition, you can have phenomenal defense sides on this map. And 100 Thieves looking like they're going to be going down 5-1 because their eco's shattered. 2G have yet to use some massive ultimates. I thought they were going to rip the null command in the previous round. Didn't even have to. Arguably one of the biggest ults you have on the attack side, and they have yet to use it.
So there needs to be a switch up here from 100 Thieves. Now, in terms of the tempo they're going to be playing at the beginning of the rounds, probably wait until next round to see that here. They're on a half fight. Want to give it a util here for a bit of aggression, potentially, to re-clear through into a main. And that's a flash primed and ready. Salvos of their own, so 2G. More of attrition that's taking place, really, but...
If they had, like, Flash and Salvos here to try to re-clear through A main, maybe they'd be able to generate a pick out of that. But by using them at the start of the rounds, they're just kind of allowing 2G to slowly take map control. And 100 Thieves run out of tools to be able to work with them. Here's the drone used, 110 on the clock. Body block it, don't let it in!
Oh, as I spotted a corner. He was attempting to body block it, didn't want to reveal Xander's position. Spotted out though. This is a 4-player stack of 100 Thieves. Definite chances. 2G creeping up forwards here. The knife underhanded with the flash. Quick hop through. No one clearing this one into the corner. And Ascent, he bites back and bites back hard. Eventually it's going to be like clearer, but 100 Thieves have arrived in time. Askia. It's a lone warrior now, left to stand onto the side here. He knows exactly where the two players are. 34 seconds left, and he needs some clean kills. 100 Thieves delivering it. Rattling off the bullets.
Could be the round to get them back into the game. They needed something big. And this time, it was all about getting the gamble stack in the right place. And also 2G hitting on a slightly faster timing. But they managed to get 4 players stacked over towards A. Gambling that A main control this time was going to be for real. And it paid off. When you are playing against a slower team, you can afford to make more of these gambles. Because if you stack A for like 20 seconds and then start spreading back out again, they're not going to run a fast hit somewhere else on the map. And Cryo picks up the operator. This could be a game changer for 100 Thieves. He has been utterly phenomenal in their most recent series and across stage 1. He's been a nightmare, a phenom.
Deep knife at the beginning. A bit more delayed in terms of stealth drone. Bit of presence into B main now, shown by 2G, and they do have this null command, and here it is. Emanating out. This one's going to be shutting down most of the setup, but Cryo is here. Dropping PXS down to his knees. Askia, slowly, diligent, just trying to clear out most of the way here, and it's a bit awkward in terms of the timing, yet still gets the job done. Cryo now. Dimensional drift out and wide. Needs some supportive help here, and he spots out 2 of the players. He's got the operator in his hand. He's going to try and hold them all the way back. And just not adjusting, not anticipating. It could be punched up onto that position. Same could be said for LZ. Bullet to the back of the brain. It's EU now versus the world in a 1v2. Spike planted down. Midst of all this chaos, drone up and over towards the top. It's a tag off in through the back of the site. No reveal, no tag. 8 bullets left. Try and make a play to work with. Waiting off this flash timing, he knows the rough positioning with the salvo and the barrel, betrays it. And look at this, anticipation reload has to be committed. And a shot just not quite landing for EU. Down to the wire, the 2G get their 5th round.
And another brutal one for 100 Thieves to lose. Cryo abandons the operator, unfortunately. Just is not going to have the cash to be able to get it back up online. They picked off PXS at the very start of the round. And then it was like Boostio didn't realize that they'd already gotten in with the jet. I think in the comms maybe, they thought that they'd held them all at the choke point. But Boosty just got completely flanked.
Yeah.
looked oblivious there in his anchor position. And Cryo got completely stuck in the back of sight as well.
Last trap destroyed.
The details all going wrong. And 2G will happily pick up another.
Little bait and switch. Hunter's Fury's being offloaded. This is a half-by round for 100 Thieves, and they're making a go at this. But it's not coordinated with much else. It's a weird one.
Yeah, very strange.
Bit flustered perhaps from 100 Thieves when you're down this many rounds. Send defense.
They might feel like they need this round, but the buy was just not good enough to support using an ultimate at the start of the round like that.
And a gamble stack.
It's not paid off this time, has it? On the previous Thrifty, they managed to put their players in the right positions, but this time, EU just hoping that they've run away from the Hunter's Fury. It's not the case.
Go ahead.
Silver linings,
yeah.
get the Tejo ultimate out, but they're grasping at straws here. 2G looking like they're set up pretty to get the 6 on the attack side of Ascent.
Spike.
It's a spike layer down here. 100 Thieves gathering up.
Going out.
He missed it ever so slightly. He's hoping for a bit of a shortcut. Up into heaven, it's going to be pre-aimed. Pre-fired. All grouped up though. 100 Thieves will look to do some damage. Money is low for a few of the 2G players, so it could pay dividends. Still, Paranoia is perfect. Just sweeping up top here. Cryo out for the door angle. Jutting smoke, but enough guns, enough watchful eyes on top of it. And everybody dismissed from 100 Thieves. 6-2 now for 2G.
You wouldn't believe this is the same team that you saw at Kickoff. And admittedly, it's not 100% the same team.
No,
they have made
no.
roster changes. But the core of this squad, when they came up to play in Kickoff, they looked like they didn't believe in themselves at all.
No, they didn't. Zero confidence.
The 2G team, they did have zero confidence. They looked like one of the worst teams that we had across all of the leagues. Just because they didn't have the confidence to be able to take fights, to challenge people. And now here they are, slinging it against teams that are looking, what was it, 92% chance of making playoffs or something? 100 Thieves has at this point.
Yeah.
That was...
Sitting at 2-1 overall with the standings. The percentage is high. Listen, don't ask me about the numbers.
But 2G, with a great lead against them and all the chances in the world here of taking Ascent, they forced the second tag timeout out of 100 Thieves.
Yep. Granted as well. Had a pinch of salt, I think, towards it. I mean, for 2G, Ascent is probably the map that they've looked the best at, I would argue.
Yeah.
In terms of how proactive they are, they definitely showed up versus Crew. The desk was kind of alluding to that point here. It's just about keeping it going. And for 100 Thieves, the one thing that they have proved, give you a little bit of hope, honestly, is resilience. They definitely showcased that.
Yeah, when they played against Loud, it was like some switch activated halfway through the series.
Point of Icebox.
Yeah. And we've got Icebox as our second map again today. It could all play out exactly the same. Just takes these players waking up, realizing that they need to be a bit more proactive. And I think you could say the same here on their defense. They need to be chilling out a bit in the first 30 seconds of the round, realizing 2G are not going to be going for these fast hits. And then a bit more proactivity to take space and information once you get to about the minute mark on the clock.
Where is Cryo holding with his op? He is all the way far back mid. Staltron's still going to be leading up forwards, but...
He's just trying to get the maximum duration out of his gate crash.
Right. Slowing it down at the beginning of the rounds like we were discussing.
So now this gate crash will expire about a minute on the clock.
One suppressed.
Quite an early drone again from Asana, but this time it does spot somebody. LZ taking a bit of an earlier aggressive timing compared to previously. But 100 Thieves have a bit of A-main information. Xander was jiggle peeking this behind a one-way.
Steel Garden though, it's going to be overlapping, forcing his players back out towards the side boost. You need some help. That's going to be a full committal and a stick of it. And well, just running out. Cryo running all the way back in. Reinforcements arriving here for 100 Thieves, shoring up that defense and calling for a pause by 2G. Spike is out in the open. LZ has his ult.
And a free kill here on EU.
And yeah, the EU's just missed that timing. Look at the rest of the side, just trying to clear this one. 100 Thieves. Not ready yet. Fully committing with all their players. Do they realize that LZ has his ult?
30 seconds
I'm
left.
surprised neither team seems to really realize it.
You could make a move into a different direction with 25 seconds left, but they pick it up and forcing the issue. A bit of spam into the corner. I mean, this is Cryo just taken out all the way. Time to be taken. Assassinate. Bit of a backstab here. The double face in the end. Listen, not the best way to play it in the world. If you are 2G, you had many options there.
Gets the job done, I suppose. They might have been assuming that 100 Thieves were already one step ahead and layering out the defense.
Sure.
Frankly, though, if you've got a problem with 2G, it would be what on earth was going on in their follow-up from the Vice ultimate. They ran this one forwards. Nobody's breaking the recon darts, by the way. They are getting absolutely boomed by the recon darts, but ASCII has got to land that kill. Cryo's running back in with an off in hand. They have Boostio dead to rights if they accelerated. He was getting support from Xander. But all right, round 10. A chance for 100 Thieves, maybe, to even this one up at the half.
Overlapping it with a knife there. On top of the drone.
It's a good op sight line. It's right where ASCII is about to peak.
Nice and passive, and if you're going to be walking, if you're going to be contacting, flash, peek, dodge to the side. Timing not missed, that's Cryo.
Spike down mid.
PXS taken straight out of the picture. All of mid-control still gained here for 2G, and they want to potentially go walkabouts.
If Xander makes a footstep, LZ might choose the timing to strike.
And that's the narrowest of angles. Good to see a replay of that one. Xander looked like he had barely a pixel to work with.
And so now you're looking to try to move away from Cryo, but he's already repositioned. Hey, heaven.
Xander's seen it all, really. Force forwards, near-sighted, straight bullets, and here's a follow-up off from the side. Ascent, doesn't matter if you've got the weaker weaponry here. This is good for 100 Thieves. Spike drop down, out into the open, all contained.
And that's the round that 100 Thieves were looking for last time they put an op in Cryo's hands. That's how their defensive rotations are supposed to work. They just haven't been able to get a read on it previously. But now, starting to ease into a little bit of a rhythm, and 2G forced to take a tactical timeout here.
Yeah.
That is a nasty little angle.
That's a hard shot to hit. LAN only. Good luck doing that online.
2G, eco round. You could argue the damage has already been done in this half. Their defense was immaculate against Crew. And that was, remember, with Crew running a double Sentinel attack side.
Yeah.
Which I think is more difficult to pull off than what 100 Thieves have got going for them on the attack. If somebody like Cryo can have, you know, a heater of a half, it is possible to bring back a 6-6 Ascent map. It's always going to be difficult, though. 100 Thieves have not made this map easy. But they love the difficult road. Feels like every year they love the difficult road. The fans are used to it. It's never an easy ride being a 100 Thieves fan.
It's really not. You got nice, you know, nice merchandise, clothes, maybe.
Sure, yeah.
But trophies, lacking ever so slightly.
Yeah, that's where they've had a bit more of a struggle, haven't they? And every year it feels like it could be a change around. I mean, last year we saw them do spectacularly in Stage 1. And this should be another year where they're looking primed at least to make the playoffs.
Yeah.
Like you saw earlier, 91.756 recurring, of course. Chance of making it.
Well, here we go. Time ticking down here.
Cutting through.
Big priority with Cryo operator in his hands. Slow and steady still from 2G. There's 2G who are on the weaker buy. Bit of danger potentially with ASCII's knives. Finally lets it loose, out into his hands. That has been spotted off to the side here. Paranoia sweeps forwards. It was primed for it inside that cloud burst. And finally, the mark has been found. Ascent cleaned up onto the side, but Cryo seeks to oblige. Evens it out and more, going for a quick little peek. And oh my, it's a hard shot to hit when Science doesn't even realize what's going on. But lit up like a Christmas tree. Take your pick, take your timing, Gobera. He's creeping and crawling around to the site, and he's found himself just a little cubby to play in. Survive for now, but against 3 of these 100 Thieves players, not willing to let too much slip at all.
Cryo with support, the artillery from heaven. But it's again EU's dart, actually, that ends up being super important for them on the defense side. Now, nobody on 2G has got dart breaking in their repertoire.
Listen.
It's a struggle out here. The assist numbers should be absolutely racking up for EU. Every dart is getting a kill. Looks like Cryo might have dropped the operator at the beginning of the round here. Maybe he's hidden it away somewhere, or they're planning to do something quick off rip with an ult.
Holding it in the hands for now. That's stealth drone forwards. Oh, not actually, they're broken. Salvo's primed. Players are going to be evacuating though. 2G are setting their sights over towards the A side, exactly where Boostio is going to be playing.
And this defensive setup looks a bit better from 100 Thieves. They've got an aggressive control over B main, trying to push you into the killjoy, into the paranoia. And Cryo going for further information at the minute mark.
Very good. It's going to give a huge read here. Armageddon sweeping through into the back here. Boostio, he's already stepped forwards and around. Bullets flying forwards, LC, what is that? Playing lights out, he's trying to carve out a path forwards, and that's a brilliant flash. Good connection, not quite there able to follow. Cryo though still holding towards the side. Spring, come on down. And Precision, bit of a flourish towards the end there for a three-piece himself. Just when he thought 2G were able to find that foothold into the site. It's 100 Thieves.
30 seconds left.
Trying to lay claim to that 6th round. Spikes down, ult in your back pocket, LZ. You have options. He's going to take them. Full committal now over towards the B site.
He's got to pull off an almighty round here to match what Cryo did. He's the one that got the 2 openers. This would have to be an ace.
TP forwards. Here's a jump spot into market. Already knows where one of the players is. Dart avoided. Needs his first kill. Salvos though. That's peace of mind granted now towards 100 Thieves. Smoke propped up. In through short. 100 Thieves want to take this one, all just tripled up together, finally revealing the hand. LT finds that first one. Just needs to ISO these fights here. Round to the side, and it's good movement. Slightly ajar, getting quirky with it. So Ascent delivers that death blow and brings it 6-2-6 for the first half of Ascent.
They're slow starters, this 100 Thieves team, but they have actually got themselves into a bit of a rhythm right now. That round from Cryo was immaculate. He gets himself up to the top of the scoreboard for 100 Thieves. There's the operator that he was leaving for later. Didn't need it. That triple kill on the players that he flashed and locked in the corner at Switch. It did everything for 100 Thieves. And they've made this maybe winnable.
He swings wide. Fucking pig.
6-2-6.
We're just not trying anymore.
No, all good. All good. That's the first half of Ascent, of course. Going to be going to a quick break on the other side of it. Let's find out just how this map ends.
Oof. Stuck paying for that old phone? Don't be. You know, at Verizon, we'll pay off your phone. And you'll get iPhone 16 on us. That's a value of up to $1,600, only on Verizon.
Now, one of the big things I think for 2G, really looking forward to this one, especially for going off the back of their game versus Crew, was how active they were getting on their defense side, always re-clearing for space, just trying to get, you know, really just active, I think, in terms of understanding what their attacking team is trying to put up here. But for 100 Thieves, the way they've dragged back momentum, honestly, bringing it 6-6 now at the half, all eyes on the pistol round could be very, very important.
Now 2G did win both of these pistols against Crew. So not only did they get off to a good start against the double Sentinel comp, but then they completely clean swept their defense. And this could be a bit of a battle in mid. Boostio heading down with a Sheriff.
3 players waiting to receive here, trying to line it up with the firing line. Askia immediately ahead has been ripped clean off. A couple more might be rolling here into market, side by side, just trying to line it all the way up. You're anticipating a flash to be coming through. Guess what? It's Boostio.
That's
Set up to
phenomenal.
succeed. And this is already racking up the kill. He wants a few more, but denied in the end. Still that swing from behind, and all anticipated.
That's a necessary pistol for 100 Thieves to get the ball rolling on this half. They've made it difficult for themselves. A 6-6 defense, it's not what you're looking for. But now, getting their feet underneath them and looking like they're very decisive. I'm liking the fact that Boostio is much more happy to take fights. The last couple of weeks, I really feel like it's made a big difference.
Nice! Give me the deagle.
He's getting the aura back.
Yeah, it feels like he is. He was a really heavy fragging IGL player back in like 2022, beginning of, or even the end of 2023. We haven't seen that much from him.
Macro play, Askia just weaves his way in past and finds the timing. Sound was a bit too slow, yeah, and it's a beautiful pick. Re-clearance called for by 100 Thieves.
Doesn't do damage in terms of the amount of rifles available, because Boostio's coming back over. They'll be able to hoover that up. But you never want to be starting one of these rounds 4v5. It makes it so much more difficult. And they've also now sacrificed all of their map control and information over on A.
That could be dangerous for 100 Thieves. Lucky for them, 2G stacking over towards B. Slow play of 100 Thieves as well. Should be able to sniff out most of the danger.
LZ in a position where he can hear footsteps, hear a main control, but everything's silent for the moment.
Oh, just stepped into it. To find a boosty. Could take, wants to take. Oh, nearsighted. Gonna evacuate away here, but a danger to be played. Still in through into the A site now.
30 seconds
All
left.
access granted, and there's a timing to be taken. LZ was thinking about it as the door was closing.
Lucio's making all the noise in the world, but nobody is going to hunt him down. It's only a stinger that he's got as well. Just looking to distract and play the backstab.
It's not going to be given away too much at all. Door's going to be broken at the moment. Notice, flash forwards. Not quite with a connection, and here it is. Takes the timing. Right off of his team's contact. This is a full cleanup. Not quite a cleanest sweeping of orders. Left it down to the 1v1. A BXS pulls it back from the brink.
I was thinking it was getting a bit touch and go there.
You're going to have to break down what happened there, buddy.
I'll tell you what
You're going to have to tell me exactly how that occurred, because
as they got back into the site, they flood through the door, and they hit two nice. I mean, they'd already got themselves a player advantage at the start of the round, right? This beautiful shot. But look, Asuna completely left out in the open. And then it's, you know, it's back and forth, but back and forth isn't going to do it when PXS is up in heaven and gets things down to a 1v1, and it's a blinder of a headshot with a classic.
What is that?
Tragic scenes for 100 Thieves. That's what that is.
I'm seeing Boostio on the backstab there. I'm thinking there's no way they lose this.
He was slightly too late, but I don't think you could blame Boostio for that.
No.
They just weren't ready for the door to open.
Well, 2G been gifted an in straight back after losing that pistol round.
How things can turn.
Yeah.
It was looking like 100 Thieves would be able to get, you know, themselves into a winnable position, but now all of the economy is going to be favoring 2G. They've got a bit of a freebie round here. Askia
going all over the place.
He's on a nice angle.
Yeah.
The more kills he gets, the more he'll be building up to an operator, and then the defense really gets online.
Pretty big indicator as well, Askia. You go for another peek here. And now the swarm just about missing in jump spot. Not going to be saving you, not through the wall there. Salvo's out through, and why Askia overstaying is welcome, and silence has been dropped in through the midst of it. Two stray bullets just quite missing. Gabera, Salvo's primed and let loose. Now he needs a bit of help, and back up Asuna. Tried to take a time in past it. That's a spike drop down onto lane. Paranoia sweeping forwards. It's Cryo. He's trying to hunt for the tracers to find a path through the dark, but leaves it down to EU. Hell of a mess to try and make something out of here for 2G though. Relatively clean, 3 players survive.
There are moments in these rounds where if 100 Thieves made a slightly different decision, things would get really difficult for 2G. In a spot like that, Gobera is just alone on the site. If the rest of 100 Thieves had decided to swarm forwards, maybe they could have done something. Boostio, though, with his death, gets a lockdown online. Is there a play that can be made around this? If they can take B main control, then of course. But it's Askia looking to try to take an early duel who will be challenging them for this space.
Drone in his face though. Silence just trying to spam this one down to not reveal the hand, but position already gained and granted 100 Thieves! Eager to take that fight. That was a flash off the back of that one, and now we see it locked down. Already going to be committed. Evacuation call for 2G. Playing this one on the outskirts.
I got the spike.
Big crash. Flying forward, salvos. It's beautiful. A little bit of util. Extra spam would have gone a long way, but Askia still alive for now. And here comes the attempt by 2G, trying to flood their way back in here. Now with that B main control, it's a bit of a problem. 100 Thieves have got this one in lock and key, and finally delivering with a bit of lead. Crossfire setup. Exchange from them, still with a massive player advantage. 2G just finding it really difficult to get past this first line of scrimmage. Finally stepping past and over, but all contained in the end. Trades barely going the way of 100 Thieves.
But importantly, this time they do go 100 Thieves' way. Boostio, with only about 9 HP, was able to throw that lockdown in, and it got them all the space they needed over towards the B side. I love the way that they play triple B main and then swing back through the smoke, not just allowing themselves to get caught out in that position. They actually go and aggro, take the fight. Those are the kind of team fights, the brawls that 100 Thieves love. But this round, Eco is very much on the line. They're going for it again.
Yeah, Dimensional Drift though, this is going to be carving out an immediate path in through B main. Spotting it out there with the wall off to the side, and Dimensional Drift in through the back. Salvos as well, pushing Silence forwards. It's been lit up here. LZ, what? TP'd all the way behind them.
What?
Cryo's been taken out in the midst of it.
How has Cryo gone down in the midst of all of that? He triggered the wall and stopped his own team from being able to get in, and then just hand delivers them the spike in the back of B.
Oh my goodness. Uh-oh. And now, it's a vice grip that 2G have applied to them. There's no exit avenues. Sights locked down, spawn locked down, LZ. Not going to be regrouping and rejoining, but
the whole goal here for 100 Thieves is to try to put enough pressure onto Askia and Silence that somebody else slips up.
Xander does have the ult as well. Could pick up the ult if they decide to make their moves, but they want to try and carve out a path and win out this fight on through B. Salvos wait for the timing onto all of it. 2G just winning it out, man. To B that's filled up. All in the name of 2G. Pretty picture indeed that they are painting. And for EU again, he's left as the last one. Alive and alone. No chance for him here. Money running so damn short that honestly incentivizes us to hold on to this gun if he can. What a weird round from 100 Thieves.
Yeah, what's going through their heads there? I mean, are they assuming that that 2G are going to be playing fully off-site? Just assuming they're going to be playing retake B and so they'll get a free plan? I really don't know. We'll have to watch that back from Cryo's POV. But he hand delivered them that.
Yeah.
Like he was training for his new job as a waiter. He was like, meals on wheels.
And you're not even getting to save that gun. That's a rough one.
Because he used his clone to bait out the wall at B main. And that actually stopped the rest of his team from being able to come in.
Oh dear. Oh dear.
That is brutal. I think even if he kills Silence in that POV, which it's a sick kill from Silence, does he not just go down to Askia anyway? He had a gate crash. Weird one. That's a brutal round.
Spike left in spawn here for 100 Thieves onto the weaker buy.
It's safer there.
It definitely is. Bit of re-clearance here from 2G. Regaining control of A main. Be the stun. Held at the ready. Vera. Stealth drone forwards, flying along with the gate crash here. It's going to be quite a lot of util, potentially to overload them. Fake TP. And 2G left wondering what the hell is going on.
And now
in this spot.
Gobera clears all of this back out with the drone though, and that's going to allow Askia to start rotating around and make sure that Silence is not alone.
Yeah, up for mid here, they've left a massive gap. 2G lucky to not being punished for this one here, but maneuvering their way all the way around. Here's the backup. Askia up and over with the knives in hand, and what options are available for you if you are 100 Thieves? Gonna try and punch a hole through the wall up through mid. No, back to Cat is the call. LZ though, stalwart defender, and a lone soldier at that is gonna try and do the most from this spot. Finds himself two, hands over the rifle in for the moment. 2v3 though, and Gobera already ready and waiting. Open arms.
Next round, 100 Thieves are going to have rifles back. Round 18. The gap, pretty close still. 100 Thieves are making this one competitive, but they need to win this round if there's a chance of getting back into the game. And they're up against a Taeho ultimate, which I think is going to be really difficult to navigate. Asuna might be able to play for his own. They can play for one of these ult orbs. But at any point when there's a Taeho ult online, you just got to be so worried about taking spots like A main, right? You walk into A main, you get ready for an exec, and suddenly you're getting ulted.
Waiting it out. A lot of util being used. He's finally stepping past this here, finding a way to get through this one way.
Shadows traveling.
Very going to be hearing this. Salvo's forcing out the TP.
Yeah, it's only the Omen and the Yoru that are willing to take that space because they both have the teleports to be able to get out.
Paranoia's already gliding forwards with the Armageddon on top of it.
There
As
it
he
is.
crashes to try and get the hell out of there. Hunter's Fury. Asuna has to step forwards and up through mid. Askia going to be disappearing. Who's going to be winning a better moment of this one? That's PXS just offloading the no command to try and stay alive, but I don't think there's any chance of this guy getting a res in sight. 100 Thieves at a jump spot. Looking to apply a bit of a punish, I think, if they hear that sound cue. And
There's no way.
oh, it's bait on the end of the stick.
There's no
Gamera's going to
way.
be trying to go for it. It's through the box, though. Could get spammed. Lifted straight up. That's the Salvo's waiting for it. That was the timing that 100 Thieves were seeking to take. And PXS is gone down. Once more. Racking up the deaths, adding it to the tally.
Here comes Boostio. He's got to be the difference maker.
Oh, to the side, he's not even anticipating it. He's looking in a completely different direction.
Left.
And Silence, so quick to punish.
Drone is down.
Snaps to the heads. 2 left to stand. 100 Thieves. It's EU and Asuna. Steel Garden. Why not? Layer it down on top. 17 seconds left. EU had to play out a line of sight for this, and you're committing the old time again. There's 11 seconds left, but maybe, potentially, a chance. Askia right from the side, right from behind. And it leaves it into that 1v1. Asuna, just a peek, just a shoulder. Askia's looking for it, hunting for it. Weaving in and out. Time to be played. And shots fired. It's lead raining down. Asuna winning it out for his team in a 4-piece.
Head scratches when he unloads the ultimate, but he saw the vision. And Askia just drew an outline around Asuna there in the 1v1. Bullets flying over the shoulder, through the legs. Remember that it was Asuna who managed to dodge the Taeho ult at the very beginning of the round too, and then unloads his own to swing with a classic up towards Jenny. He might have saved 100 Thieves there.
I got you guys, I got you, I got you.
It's a critical round.
Oh, Askia, he's going for it.
Yeah, and he hits that drone. Potentially takes the time with the dash active.
This
Knife.
would be a crazy play to go for at 10-9. At least he waited for a flash there from PXS. So he waited until he had a little bit more support. Wasn't as mad. It's a strange buy here too.
Yeah, it's all over the place.
Silence is forced. The rest have about 1,000 in the pocket, but LZ with only a sheriff to work with.
Askia about to be tested, I think. Minute mark down.
Placing swarm.
Lineups for every occasion. Who's just going to be flying forwards here with the salvos as well. It's going to be paving. Potential path fake. But the game crash. Askia around to the side here. Cloud burst. Why not? Chance to go for another peek here. Plenty of bodies, but Bullet's going to be rattling straight back at him. Bit of a handshake for it, and he's lucky to be alive at 21 health. Regen shield finally kicking in. Stacking these bodies up. TP's in a way, but broken in time. And it's 30 seconds left. 100 Thieves. What options do you have?
Where are you going?
No B main control. No mid control. This is a mad dash and a scurry, an attempt to pivot into a different direction.
Where though?
And 2G.
Where can you go?
I don't even know, man. There's 18 seconds left. You've got to get a full run on. Knives out almost into this spot, and guess what? Reinforcements shoring up the defense. This is 2G ready for it. Dark barely broken, almost through the wall here. There's 8 seconds left, and kills players dropping in all. They have to hard commit this, they have to hard stick it, and they're gonna plant out in the end. EU. It's a 1v3. 2 players locked into the site, 8 bullets left. All or nothing for him right now. Might be able to catch this angle here with a barrel pointed out. He's just spotted the one player, but doesn't expect Gobera to be off at that angle. 11th round now for 2G.
And what a mad scramble that was for 100 Thieves. Realizing that there was a stack on A that they wouldn't be able to re-hit into. but no time on the clock. Askia's operator was beautifully woven in throughout those peaks, using the paranoia to kind of fill the gap afterwards, and putting Boostio's IGLing in such a difficult spot. That should have been the round, I think, that breaks the back of 100 Thieves. They would have to pull something incredible out here to win, either on a Thrifty or the final 3 rounds. All in a row.
Yeah, no ults to work with on top of it. And the war chest running dry for 100 Thieves. Maybe could do some damage in this round, but 2G would be up to 12 if they end up losing it. Could string together a few ults if you really plan it out correctly. He's online. Boostio's going to get his ult off the back of this one.
100 Thieves are very diligent about using recon and salvos to clear out wine, and then as soon as LZ puts down that smoke, he could just walk into the wine again. We've seen a lot of this kind of stuff where 100 Thieves use quite a bit of utility and don't achieve too much.
Oh, up to peak, they hear it jumping around, I think. Footsteps indicating quite a lot into this spot. Pre-fired attempted for the drone onto the corner. They've got to try and break this one. Suppression would be a big problem. And even an ult being committed here. 100 Thieves feeling that desperation. Earned prior. Dash going to be fading. Everyone has to play out and wide. Salvo's going to be delayed on top of it. And that is the cherry on top, but EU very much alone onto the site, getting this plant down, the wall cutting them out.
This is the same round they ran last time they had lockdown. Just put one person B main. Sorry, one person on site, the rest B main, and then fight through.
Smoke's propped up. It's Boostio holding down towards B main. EU waiting for the contact to be caught here, and that's a Hunter's Fury. As soon as that attempt to flood straight back in, it's a good call to make. Cryo is delivering death blows.
Just when you think they're out, Cryo comes up with a big round. A Thrifty from nowhere. Utilizing that lockdown, same as they did before. When they have an ult to get into a site, this 100 Thieves team can generate win conditions. Oh! With this guy in your back pocket, 20 pound 16.
That's a filthy 4-piece.
The game is right back to being winnable for
11
100 Thieves.
11. Like you said, Josh, right back to being winnable. The money taking a tumble. That's a flash peak. Aggro play being called for by 2G, but it doesn't catch on to absolutely anyone. TP4 is off to the side. LZ, you're lucky. You got out of there scot-free.
There's that smoke again that kind of makes what Ascent's doing with his salvos less useful. There's a fight potentially on the other side. Oh, there we go. So utilizing a drone again to make sure that LZ can't sneak into wine. And there's a very pushed up bait and switch setup in B main. And this looks like 100 Thieves want to tackle it.
Bucky in hand.
Yeah, Askia's going to pull contact first. At least that's the game plan. And then Gobera's there to hit you with the left click buckshot. Could easily get 1 or 2 from this.
Yeah, that 1-2 combo. Risk to be taken, of course. Dimensional Drift, though, is going to navigate all of that. And Gobera realizes it. He's going to take a peek nice and early. Flash in your face. No escaping it. Tries to evacuate straight towards the back of the site. TP in through in as well. LZ, high committed, but has to run forward. That's a salvo! He's got a bloody util out in his hands. Lighting him up, though. Off to the side. That's Cryo onto the cleanup. And rifle in hand, swiftly dismissing them all.
This time, Cryo doesn't get caught in the middle of his dimensional drift. He's in there. Looked a tiny bit awkward, you could argue, with the crab walk spray, but he gets the job done. And he's helping them out in these awkward spots. His ult was absolutely imperative to be able to get past that 1-2 Bucky setup in B main. And now, 11-11. And if 100 Thieves win this one, 2G's economy is on the rocks again. So this is everything. 100 Thieves have somehow found themselves in a position where they've got a slim favor to win this game.
Yeah, oscillating wildly. One round they end up losing it because the game plan just wasn't cooked up thoroughly. The next they win it on a Thrifty. So finding their ways back in with the footholds. 11-11.
The Thrifties have been massive. Cryo's individual performance has been so crucial to 100 Thieves as well. 2G, they need something big again, and they don't really have the funds to go for Askia's operator. that was causing a lot of issues to 100 Thieves when Askia was anchoring on site with it. They don't have that tool available to them.
For the perspective of 2G, I think the pressure's got to be pretty immense at this point. You're a team that's barely hanging on, to be honest. You've only just settled into your roster. As it stands, you've been picked to pieces. Not necessarily by other teams, but haven't been comfortable really since their entry into Tier 1.
Jump them.
Off the back of winning Ascension. Hard fought for almost every single win they could possibly grab here, but 100 Thieves on the brink. It's fast, they're going to let loose out towards A main here. Deep knife. Won't be timing. Tags onto the 3 as well, so pushing them back and away, but ensuring that he keeps Xander inserted. He's making a lot of noise.
Yeah, just trying to make it expensive here. As 2G look to reclaim some information, forcing them to use utility, making them think that there's still reason to keep bodies stacked on the A side defense. But LZ's doing a good job of clearing all of this out, and it does feel different. There isn't that same usage of drone and recon and salvos. There isn't all of that stuff. So you're starting to think that they're grouping up for a B split or a B pop.
Snapdragon's not going to see much here. The big danger player's got to be Askia though. He's tucked up tight to the corner. Last time he had Cryo's ult to try and clear this risky spot. What have they got this time?
Drone
from EU. Silence is waiting onto the sidelines just to break that one, so supports it, bait and switch, but you have to think that there's someone... Yeah, okay. Askia is going to commit to try and get out.
And now Asna could play for the ult orb, he has, so now has Teo ult online.
Here comes the U-tilt, flying forwards here.
Beautiful knife.
Very good knife. Suppression across the board onto 4 players.
They're pivoting again with 25 seconds
all
left.
the way up into LZ. This guy again could be the danger player.
There's no way. I mean, he's still got Paranoia.
Paranoia's reinforces an Armageddon committed. No smokes out towards tree here. Backs against the wall. Paranoia down to some darkness. Just lay it down on top of it. It's 2G attempting to find a way to path and paving the victory. 100 Thieves still thriving. In the midst of all that chaos, they make the most of it.
2 mad rounds ending in polar opposite directions. This one even less time on the clock. Boostio makes a pivot. Ill-advised, I think, but what other choice did he have? 4 players suppressed in B main, but he makes the best of it and grabs 3 important kills.
I don't know. Nice, boys. Let's go. Oh, hell, that's what I like.
He's got to 20. 2G are working with Scraps, 100 Thieves. They're the team to beat here on Ascent now.
There's that resilience that's rearing its head once more. You saw it when 100 Thieves played versus Loud. Doesn't matter how dire the circumstances get, this is a team that at this point, been in this spot before. Got to close it out here though. As you mentioned as well, Josh, never been a better time for it with the buy of 2G. All grouped up towards B main. To clone to trigger that wall out. Salvo, someone's going to come to EU to get the hell out of there. It's going to take a bit of chip damage, I think, in the process.
Yeah, almost half of his health gone.
And now for the second wave of things. Now that the wall has been removed, the rest of your team can just try and flood all the way through. Landing those shots. Anti-flash players were critical into the middle of that. And 100 Thieves are hunting for a little bit more. These smokes have faded, dissipated. Askia steps up to that challenge. Quick dismissal, beheading of it. Boostio though, blind as anything, and a quick peek in through the back. This is all set up nicely. 2G finding their way forwards and finding these kills on top of it. Asuna to 1v3, and they are rapidly approaching his position. Dragged all the way, we are going to OT.
This is how 2G ended up getting their win over Loud. Got into overtime, 14-12 on map 1. I was worried here that 2G were just going to let this one slip completely. That's a nice little flash play. Silence playing out of position towards lane, making sure nobody can spot him, and then re-peeks back in. There was so many spots here where 2G let slip on their defense. They lost thrifty rounds. They lost rounds with the time ticking down to only 10 seconds left on the clock. But they rallied in the 11th hour and have sent us to OT. Cryo has picked up an operator too. Yeah. So going for that force by op, which means on the Yoru, no flashes, no clone to work with.
2 gate crashes, and a dream basically. He's taking his time with the gate crashes on top of it. Just waiting for now.
A fake of a fast B split. Smoke deep on mid. Drone immediately, but they didn't break the alarm bot. So they haven't really showcased a real threat here.
It's a wall high committed. 2G looking like they want to end in the direction of A. It's a flash and a peek to try and coordinate. Salvo's used in response, that cat and mouse game. Who can use the least amount of util?
Ascent has been using his drone on an early timing over here towards Catwalk, and now it's gone. Salvo's gone as well, but the stun is massive in this spot.
Flash rebounds up towards it. Asuna is going to try and hold it down. Rooted to the spot. It's a paranoia.
From his own team.
Exactly. Rooted towards the back there, jumping through the air. You will not escape the ire of Asuna. Quick to hunt you down, and Xander himself steps up to that mark. Challenges to be had all over the map at this point for 2G. They've only got 2 left to stand. Make it 1, make it none.
That's the kind of setup Ascent has been looking for the whole time with that cat hold. Throws out quite a bit of early utility, but keeps the stun in the back pocket, ready to throw it out and swing. He's happy to brawl. Kajitaski dead to rights. Buying time for Xander and Cryo to reposition into high-lows on site.
Nice! Good fucking
Once more, the pressure put onto 2G. We are missing those.
It's all good. We're only human. But this is 100 Thieves now. On the cusp of taking away this opening map at Ascent. We're talking about it as the best chance, really, for 2G, I think, to do some damage into this series. And can argue that they've let slip some portion of it.
That wasn't where the shock dart was supposed to go. Straight to Cryo's back.
Next one's going to be meant to delete this Thorns, but okay.
Hasn't worked.
Yeah, Razordine's still going to be there. Applying that pressure now, making their moves over towards A.
PXS is dropping off Catwalk just as he's required. They've made the B-split.
LZ's on a bit of an island, has to TP to try and get back here, but he's got no real help or support. Any sort of util, Paranoia still being held. Already these players are starting to split all the way into him, and the handle with the flash as well. Sliders to ankles, and Cryo! The Boostio! None the wiser, looking to the side, not expecting this one. LZ got that support that he was asking for. TP's around, Xander, an inclination as to where this player could be hiding, but it leaves it down to him. 13-13, inevitable.
That's a mad play from PXS. Throws the underhand flash through there after getting 3 suppresses. Realizes he's a little bit late to the party, but he still just sends it. And now I think it's on EU to stop that from happening. EU was tucked over towards Catwalk, playing an anti-flash position, but doesn't actually swing in aggressively enough until 2 players are already dead. So he kind of missed the timing there. Left 2 of his players to die. And 100 Thieves did look a little bit oblivious in that spot. So 2G have still got it. They are still giving it out there.
Yep.
I don't think, again, you would have seen this team put up anywhere near as much resistance in Kickoff. They didn't have that belief that when stuff got tough, they could stick it out.
It's a different team.
It really feels
like they'd won a raffle to play on the stage in Kickoff. Like, listen, that's me being polite about it.
But this team, I don't know whether it's because of the roster moves or whether it's a different mentality culture shift within the squad. But this is more like what you saw from them at Ascension.
For sure. And
where they really believe.
And I think you've got to put some respect on the name of 2G to be capable of doing that. A lot of teams place in that scenario, those circumstances where, you know, you're losing your players. Over time, you're just waiting to buy time for stage 2.
I mean, we've seen it from other squads, honestly. We've seen it from Fury and MIBR in previous years.
They peter out. They peter out. They don't get anything going. This is a 2G that is still fighting tooth and nail.
Cryo picks up the operator again. So another glass cannon off to work with on defense side. He's going to try to hold on to his gate crash for a little while here, I would imagine, and then post up in a passive position on A Heaven. But 2G, they have been faking a fast B split in a couple of rounds here, but they're never actually breaking the alarm bot. I wonder if they just send it on a B split.
Far forwards here.
There's the alarm bot.
Yep, spotted that. Time to the corner already broken here. This is fast. Flash and a peek. Playing it forwards here. The pace increases. Almost unexpected here, but you're playing right into the hands of 100 Thieves. This is the kind of tempo that they really enjoy. Dash forwards and across there into market. No real ground gain for 2G. They're quite stuck and corralled for now. Thorns drop down. Smoke's going to be dissipating. Leaves an opening and it leaves a gap. 100 Thieves as Soul Defenders. Boostio doing side by side. Him and EU. This guy regaining that aura. Boostio tackling the two-piece. Cryo TP's in through the back. Smoke in your face, shorty in hands. No one's going to be stepping past this one and just tickling, applying that pressure and leaping and bounding straight into their face.
That's exactly the kind of timing that 100 Thieves want 2G to be playing. That quick pace, it suits Asana's drone timing. It suits Cryo's gate crash timing. It suits the style that 100 Thieves want to play as well. There's a reason that 2G have been taking most of the attack sides criminally slowly. Because they don't want to be doing this. And I think if we get to see another OT, maybe they could try a fast play off the beginning and then slow things down, but you've got to pump those brakes. Askia himself going for the glass cannon op and looking to take an aggressive peek in B main. This is it for the map.
These players is being held down here, but Salvo's, it's just seen, I think. Farrell pointed out that's a drone going to be used to push him way away from the angle.
Ice wall left to guard mid. Boostio sniffing up close to it.
Thieves. Oh, the reveal. One on dart duty once more. Uncomfortable territory for Askia. Expecting the mid was going to be at least held down to a degree just by the wall. And Boostio is going walkabouts. Incredible timing to be taken. Death by 1,000 cuts at this point. That's what 100 Thieves are looking to deliver. Slowly walking, meandering around the map. This is Silence just walking straight into his crosshair. Boostio is having a field day at this point. Cuts up the middle of the map, and now a series of unknowns circling through the 2G players' heads. What are you even doing to this spot? How do you clear this one up? They're looking lost at this point, and 100 Thieves are looking determined to close it out. Lovely return of the 5 ILZ, but straight back at you by EU in the trade, and this is it. 15-13. Slow going in the end, but for our opening map, it's 100 Thieves who seal it up.